Hi everybody, it's Susan Farron with First Responders Resiliency. You can learn more about our work at resiliency1st.org. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about a message that we give at our conferences in relationship to who's driving the bus. So most of you may know this, some of you may not, that after the age of 35, 90% of what you do is completely habitual. So you get into the shower the same way, you use the same foot, you wash your body the same way, you get out of the shower the same way, you maybe drive to work when you used to drive to work the same way. You do things just by habit and routine, and that's the way our bodies are designed. But what happens is you actually become sort of unconscious. You stop being mindful of where you are and what you're doing. So I ask people to consider trying to wake up and try things differently. So when you get up in the morning, try getting out of bed a different way, try doing things in a different way, and it makes you more present to the environment that you're in. This is really important during a time like this where there's a pandemic and there's this underlying stress that's affecting all of us. And I use this phrase in the conferences about who's driving the bus. And that is really about a story that I experienced when I was working on the ambulances in Sonoma County, where we had a patient who had been in a fight and needed to be seen at the hospital, and he was also inebriated, and he did not want to go to the hospital. But once we convinced him that was the right place to go, there was a waiting line, and he didn't want to wait in line. So he asked if there was a test he could take so he could get out of having to wait, or he could leave. And I said, well, I could give him a test, and if he passed it, he could go. But if he didn't pass it, he would have to stay and get the stitches that he so desperately needed. So he agreed to the test, and it went like this. You're driving a bus, and when you get to the first bus stop, 6 passengers get on. When you get to the second bus stop, 4 passengers get off, 5 passengers get on. When you get to the third bus stop, 2 passengers get off, 3 passengers get on. When you get to the 4th bus stop, was that right? Or was it the 3rd? 3 passengers get on, 1 passenger gets off. Are you ready for the test? And he agrees. He's ready for the test. He's been paying attention. And I said, who's driving the bus? And he got really upset and said, you didn't tell me that. That's not fair. You told me that it was about counting. And I said, no, I didn't. I said, I was going to give you a test. And I said, you're driving the bus. I use that analogy in relationship to the fact that it's really everything that's happening to us is our responsibility. We have to take responsibility for taking care of ourselves. We get to own our own lives, and whether we live unconsciously by doing things the way we've always done them, or whether we choose to be more mindful. And in today's economy, it's an invitation for us to be more mindful. And whether that means you take advantage of the chance to take a few minutes, even 60 seconds, to go outside and just breathe. Just stop thinking and trying to project into the future and how are we going to outrun this situation and what are we going to do when the pandemic ends, and just stop and just breathe. This is stressful. One of the things that I was talking to a team member about this morning is that we don't always succeed. Our intention is to train folks how to take responsibility for controlling their nervous systems and the impacts their careers have on their bodies and their brains. We want to train people how to invest in this part of their lives when things are good, so that when things are hard, this becomes muscle memory of taking care of yourself. We all backslide. Don't kid yourself. I may have eaten chocolate chip cookie dough for dinner last night. That's a possibility. Not my finest moment, but I'm back on track today. So I want to encourage you to consider making yourself a priority, taking just a minute to be mindful and enjoy these short times where we can just let our nervous system rest. Have a great day. Thanks.